In 1930, Youngstown, Ohio had 170,000 people. Steel mills ran along the Mahoning River around the clock. The city had banks, theaters, restaurants, department stores. It had a future. Today, the population is 60,000. That's not a recession. That's not a temporary setback. That's a city hollowed out from within, and Youngstown is not alone. Across America, entire towns are disappearing, not destroyed by wars or disasters, not abandoned 100 years ago, right now. Hundreds of communities that once thrived are slowly dying while we're still watching. How can an entire American town simply vanish while people are still living there? We'll answer that question by the end of this documentary, because the truth is far more complicated than most people realize. The quiet crisis. When you drive through America today, boarded storefronts line Main Street, empty schools dot neighborhoods, factories abandoned so long they look like monuments to another country. But the most telling sign isn't visible. It's what's missing: people. 51% of rural American counties shrank between 2020 and 2024. More than half the countryside, quietly disappearing each year. Walk into Flint, Michigan. In 1960, General Motors employed 80,000 people there. Today, it's 7,200. The city's population has been cut in half, from nearly 200,000 to 81,000. Thousands of homes are abandoned. The remaining residents inherit crumbling infrastructure and a school system struggling to serve fewer and fewer children. Gary, Indiana, tells a similar story. Built by U.S. Steel as a model industrial city, Gary once boomed. Today, 32.5% of its housing stock sits vacant. Entire neighborhoods are eerily empty. West Virginia shows what happens when this pattern repeats across a whole state. The state peaked at 2 million residents in 1950. Since then, it has lost roughly 800,000 people, averaging tens of thousands leaving every year for 74 years straight. Nearly all 16 of the state's coalfield counties are shrinking right now, with some facing the loss of nearly a third of their remaining population by 2040. This is where the story changes. The break. For decades, people believed these towns would survive because people always do. They adapt, they endure. But something shifted, something structural broke, and it's not coming back. In Youngstown, that break had a name: Black Monday. September 19, 1977. On that single day, Youngstown Sheet and Tube announced it would close its Campbell Works. Within 5 years, 50,000 jobs vanished. People left immediately. Those who stayed found themselves in a town designed for twice its population, with half the tax base to maintain it. Factory after factory closed. Youngstown, a city that existed for one purpose, steel, watched that purpose disappear. And once the center collapsed, everything else followed. But this wasn't unique to Youngstown. Pittsburgh lost its mills. Buffalo lost its shipping dominance. Flint lost its auto plants. Gary lost its steel market. Across the Rust Belt, a pattern emerged. Single-industry towns built their entire identity, economy, and infrastructure around one thing. When that thing left, there was nothing left. The farm crisis nobody talks about. But deindustrialization tells only half the story. The other half is happening in the middle of America. In 1935, Nebraska had 215,599 farm workers. By 1987, that number had collapsed to 25,627. In Kansas, There were 110,000 farms in 1960. Today, there are 57,700. Each farm that disappears represents a family that left. The culprit seems simple: tractors, combines, automation. One farmer with modern equipment can do the work that took 3 people a generation ago. A single harvester, costing $800,000 to over $1 million, can process more grain in a week than dozens of laborers could in a month. This technology is efficient, economically rational, good for food production. It's also devastating for rural communities. When farming required dozens of hands per farm, small towns thrived. They needed equipment dealers, grain elevators, banks, restaurants, schools to educate farm kids. A network of commerce supported every family that worked the land. Modern agriculture needed none of that. Bigger farms consolidated. Smaller farms were bought up. Young people who grew up in farm communities had a choice: work a larger operation for less money or leave. Most left. They went to cities. They went to college. They didn't come back. The demographic trap. There's something worse than an empty factory. It's an empty home no young person wants to fill. 76% of rural counties are experiencing natural decrease, more deaths than births. The median age in some Great Plains counties exceeds 45. A quarter of residents are over 65. Young people leave for jobs and opportunity. The elderly remain. As more die and fewer babies are born, towns don't just decline, they age into extinction.
Schools close because there are no children. Hospitals close because there's no patient base. Businesses close because there's no customer base. The infrastructure collapses not because of one event, but because there simply aren't enough people left to sustain it. One of the last grocery stores in rural Kansas called it serving underutilized human infrastructure. They meant towns that are too empty to support even essential services. What happened next surprised few who were paying attention. A self-reinforcing cycle began. As services disappeared, remaining residents had even less reason to stay. Older people who had family elsewhere moved to be closer to their children. Working-age residents who had clung to their hometowns finally gave up. Each departure made the next departure easier. Each closure made the next closure inevitable. The forces nobody stopped. Most people blame one reason. The real answer is much bigger. Industrial decline didn't have to be permanent. Youngstown could have diversified its economy. It could have invested in new industries, retraining, small business development. Some cities attempted exactly that. But those efforts required something most struggling towns lacked: capital, regional investment, political priority, and time. Globalization moved manufacturing to countries where labor was cheaper. Automation made labor itself less essential. Consolidation in agriculture squeezed family farmers between rising equipment costs and falling commodity prices. Coal mining faced both mechanization in the mines and falling demand for coal itself. Decades of decisions: where to build interstates, which industries to support with subsidies and tax breaks, which communities to invest in, created winners and losers. The winning communities got younger, richer, and larger. The losing communities aged, declined, and received less investment precisely when they needed it most. By the time people in these towns understood what was happening, the tide had already turned against them. The warning. So why are entire communities disappearing? Because the combination of economic decline, demographic collapse, and infrastructure loss doesn't just slow down towns, it ends them,
A factory closes. Workers leave. Young people follow. Schools lose students and funding. Hospitals lose patients and close. Grocery stores lose customers and shut down. Fewer services means fewer reasons for anyone to stay. Population decline accelerates. Tax revenue plummets. The remaining government can't maintain existing infrastructure. At some point, usually subtle, rarely noticed, a town crosses an invisible line. The population shrinks below the point at which basic services can be maintained. The people who remain are too old and too few to rebuild. The young people who might have rebuilt have already left, sometimes for generations. Towns don't disappear overnight. They fade over decades, so slowly residents don't fully recognize what's happening until it's done. Storefronts close, families move away, young people don't come home. Gradually, silence becomes complete. Behind every abandoned storefront, every empty factory, and every shuttered school are real families who believed their towns had a future. They built lives there. They raised children there. They expected their children's children might do the same. America's forgotten towns are not just stories from the past. They are a warning about what can happen when communities lose the industries that sustain them, when young people abandon them for opportunity elsewhere, and when decades of decline go unaddressed until reversal becomes almost impossible. The question is not whether these towns will disappear. Many already have. The question now is what we learn from them, and whether the next wave of communities facing similar forces will suffer the same fate, or whether America will finally decide these people and these places are worth saving. Subscribe to Inside Homeless America. We'll keep investigating the stories that America is learning to ignore.